who are entirely responsible for all show content and do not in any way reflect the opinions of KYOK Radio, its sponsors, staff, or management.
When you walk out on that field today, ask yourself this question.
What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Let's go! We ready! We ready! We ready! We ready! I'm going to the house! I'm going to the house!
When I step on the field, I send one message. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like.
Football is getting hit. That's it. It's gonna be football now. What time is it? Game time. What time is it?
Ambulance came in the building, y'all.
Hey.
What time is it? Let's hunt now. Let's hunt now. Let's hunt. We ready. I'm going to the house. I'm going to the house.
We're talking about the Jets like we're talking about the Saints. You know, all this kind of we the Miami Heat of football. Yeah. The bottom line is you got to buckle up with chin straps. It's embarrassing. Yeah. Don't disrespect the game like that. There's too much crying from him. He's a man. They can be a hit just like us. He's a man. You already make the big money. He's a man. Don't cry when you step on the field, man. That's who I did. When I step on the field, I send one message. This is what it feels like. Oh, my bad. You had no work in my world.
Ray was talking on here, man. Ray was talking on here.
What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. We ready. I'm going to the house. I'm going to the house. It's a wrap. Game over.
No, man. Game is just getting started right here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. And we're streaming live 24/7 on KYOKradio.org. And y'all, I had to do it. It ain't that I didn't want to. It's just we finally got to it. She's back by man. All the way from the Dialogue and Real Talk Sports and the All-Star Game, I am Valencia King. Valencia.
That's me. What is up, everyone? I hear an echo, so let me fix that right away before we get started.
Okay.
It might be on my end.
It's probably on my end, to be honest with you, because knowing me, I done something I wasn't supposed to do. You know me, I'm always up to something. So, all right, what you sound like? What you hearing over there?
Okay, I don't hear an echo, so I think we are gravy.
All right, because I want to be gravy. You know what I'm saying? You know what? I just absolutely love how you come on your show. Your energy is just crazy on the Dialogue, man. You know what I mean? You go into different accents. You go into different character voices. You are amazing. And I mean, really, where did that come from? What said, okay, this is how I'm coming in, not with just your regular music or whatever. I'm coming in like this.
Right. Well, honestly, I am an only child. Okay. And for 16 years, no, about 12 years, because we got our dog when I was about 4, and then he passed away when I was 16. And it was just me and the dog and my parents. And so, I couldn't, not do the dishes and say it was my little sister. I couldn't blame the dog because it wouldn't believe me. I did try to blame my dog. And rest in peace, JoJo Xavier King. That was my road dog for real. But being an only child, you just have to learn how to be content in your own space, entertain yourself. I was, unorthodox. I like to do tedious tasks. My mom would have me count coins, and this might be before some of, Generation Z, but we used to count up the coins and put them in the little Rolodex thingy-mabobber and take them to the bank.
Yep. Hey, big money in that. Big money in that.
Exactly. So little tedious tasks like that, I just used to love doing as a child. So it's no wonder that I'm just people. Some might call me crazy, but I just say it's regular Valencia. So when I go in and out of accents, it's just what I do. My problem is I can't stay in one accent too long. I'm like an international conversation all within 3 minutes. So I got to learn to stay focused in one accent.
That is hilarious. Because she's like, you know what it do. You know what it do. I'm like, man, you are hilarious. I come in sometimes just for the intro and stay for the rest of the show. You know? So
yes.
it is good to have you. How's everything going up there in the DFW?
Yes, everything is going well at the moment. We are bright and sunny, which Texas weather all over, and I hope everyone is still recovering from our Texas storm. I know some people are still dealing with the aftermath of that, but right at this moment, the weather is nice. Family is good on this side, so I can't complain. If I did, it wouldn't change anything anyway.
Well, I just like that y'all are okay, because you ain't kidding about this Texas weather. And you're right. There are a lot of people that are still without clean running water. There are a lot of people without any running water because of pipes bursting, what have you. I know there are people that are going to mass sites for distribution so that they can get cases of drinking water, what have you. And we're definitely, thoughtful and considerate of all of that. So I appreciate you shouting that out. Of course, life goes on. Sports has been happening. And I mean, everything that's gone on with every other team in the state, the Dallas Mavericks are still looking like what it is in NBA basketball for the state of Texas. I know Luka just got a chance to play in the All-Star game. 8 points, 8 assists. What was your takeaway from him during the All-Star game?
It's just always fun to watch Luka play. He's just turned 22 last month in February, and he still has that energy of, I'm just so happy to be here. And I know that, he's only third year in the NBA league, but we have to remember he's been doing this and playing at a professional level since he was a teenager, but he still is so happy to be here. So, I mean, you could give a professional career like Luka and might have the attitude or the ego like, oh, I've been doing this. But that's not Luka at all. He sincerely loves this game. And so anytime you watch him, he's always going to have a smile on his face, especially in an all-star atmosphere. And it was just fun to watch him. He was not the star of the show by any means,
right.
But it's always going to be fun to watch Luka play. He's going to go out there and give it his all.
It was interesting to see Steph Curry coming down the high five line, and Luka was talking to the guy next to him, and Steph said something to him, and Luka's like, oh, okay. All right.
Exactly.
It just brought back the fact that he's still a very green young man.
Yes, he definitely is. And that okay, is also showing the respect of Stephen Curry. Like, dang it, I done messed up. I'm supposed to be focused, high-fiving everybody, dapping them up. My bad, bro, my bad.
Well, listen, before we get to, what stood out for you in the game last night, a couple of weeks back, Mark Cuban made it very plain that he was not happy about folks talking about them possibly trading Kristaps Porzingis.
Right.
What's the latest on that situation, and what's the real deal?
So I appreciate that the Mavs organization, they're always going to seemingly be a united front. So Mark was asked about it. KP was even asked about it. I believe Luka was asked about it. And they're all giving whether it's a scripted answer or not, they're all giving the same kind of answer of, we're focused on what is happening right now. I'm not saying they're not acknowledging they've heard anything of that nature. And I can appreciate that, because until anything is signed on the dotted line and the ink is dry, it is what it is.
Right.
I mean, even James Harden was asked about Blake Griffin before the All-Star game yesterday, and he's like, I can only talk about what is right now. However, if something were to happen, we would make it work, and that's all the players can do, especially when all these fines come into play.
Man, the NBA ain't playing. They're going to find a way to get their money. If you think about a player under contract under another team, like, okay, you thought that, we're going to fine you $250.
Exactly.
So, I'm glad to see that Cuban himself, though, kind of took the lead on it. I don't know. I got to take a quick break, but when I come back, can we talk about the Luka, Kristaps, and the fellas? Because I think y'all got something, but maybe you know more than me. So let's be right back with Valencia King. I am Valencia King. Real Talk Sports, the dialogue right here on the lunch break. You know what it do on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM.
This important message. Are you tired of struggling with monthly bookkeeping or always being behind? Maybe you're fed up with paying your CPA ridiculously high hourly rates for subpar services. At Finance Pal, we know your pain. We're small business owners who understand your tax and accounting needs. At Finance Pal, we take over your books and design a program custom tailored to fit your needs. Whether it's bookkeeping, payroll, bill pay, inventory tracking, or taxes, we have you covered. We handle some or all of these services for one flat, affordable, low monthly fee. Stop worrying about your books and drowning in paperwork. Let us worry while you focus on growing your business. This setup is easy, and we give you the tools and technology to make your monthly finances streamlined and organized. Call now for a free business assessment.
800-213-9527. 800-213-9527. 800-213-9527. That's 800-213-9527. Here's an important COVID-19 school system update for your local area. If you're concerned about your child's education, please pay close attention to this message. The current school systems were not set up for at-home learning. If you're worried that your child may not be getting the grades they need to get ahead, maybe losing self-confidence, or you're worried about them getting into a good college because of their grades, help is available to you. Call Grade Potential Tutoring. They can help with in-home or online tutoring and help your child with any subject and every grade level, even for test prep. They're experts in the home tutoring and online tutoring field and confident they can help you and your child get better grades today. Call now for your free consultation. 800-580-7680. 800-580-7680. 800-580-7680. That's 800-580-7680.
The legendary KYOK 1140 AM and 92.3 FM. The legend continues.
This is Jasmine Highsmith, and you're having Inside of Sports with your lunch here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK.
Jasmine Highsmith, big shout out to her, about to get married, daughter of, you know it, Alonzo Highsmith. Used to run that rock with them Houston Oilers. And I'm hanging out with one of the best in the business. I'm talking about bar none. I'm talking about all the way from that DF Dub. It is none other than Valencia King. I am Valencia King. The dialogue, Real Talk Sports. She's been getting it in, man. She's been all over the place here lately, man. I'm loving it. I have been vicariously watching the Mavericks games through your posts on Twitter because you are hilarious. You are hilarious. So, Valencia, what's the real deal with the Mavericks? I know Kristaps has been out, but when he's in, the boy can ball. Right. Are the Mavericks better with Kristaps and the fellas, or do they need to do something different?
I think the Mavs are better COVID-free. And when the Mavs went on a 6-game losing streak, I was at the games, and it was a little tough to watch. And I'm like, okay, well, I know you guys won't make any excuses for you, so I'm not going to make any excuses for you. Are we hanging it up? Are we hanging in there? What are we doing, guys? And the Mavs have seemingly turned this thing around. You know, their 6-game losing streak is well in the past at this point. And so they were able to go above 500 once our All-Star break started, and we'll see what their second half of the season looks like. But without COVID, these guys are getting to know each other again, getting to get more familiar with each other. And you have to remember, we had quite a few new guys once we started this season. So it was already new teammates, even if I know Jay Rich and Luka had a relationship before becoming teammates, but it's different between knowing someone and knowing them on the court as a teammate. Right. And so when you think about the guys needing time to mesh together on the court, and then we had Maxi Kebler, Dorian Finney-Smith, Josh Richardson, Jalen Brunson, all out for well over about 10 games between all of them due to COVID, and Dwight Powell as well. And that's 5 of our guys right there. And five key guys. These aren't 5 guys that aren't getting minutes in the game. These are guys that some of them even in the starting lineup. And so I think the Mavs will be able to make more headway as we go into the second half of the season.
Well, you know what's funny? Because I think you kind of answered DK's question. DK says, I love when Valencia King is on the show. Does she think that the Mavericks are going to make another run like they did last season to the playoffs? They were fun to watch.
Right. When the Mavs are balling, they're balling. You can't deny that. Even, with Luka on the court, like I mentioned, it's always going to be fun to watch him play. But let's say Luka and KP are out. The Mavs are still going to be exciting because they have guys that love this game. And even with our newest edition of Jay Rich is always dancing pregame, in the middle of the game, post-game. And that's, of course, courtesy to the Dallas Mavericks DJ Poison Ivy. The arena is always rocking. So when you have guys that just like to have fun together, even if you've watched some of the pregame, you might see Dwight Powell and Maxi Kibler always do their little ball double tap, and they do their whole pregame ritual together. And I know, a lot of the NBA guys have their handshakes together, but we've seen our guys have dance moves together. That went viral of Boban and Luka doing I'm going to say international shuffle. So, the Mavs are going to be exciting to watch because they enjoy the game and they enjoy playing for each other. And something new the Mavs have done within the last couple of months is they've added a defensive player of the night belt. So it's a wrestling belt. And so on the nights where the Mavericks get the win, someone on the team is going to be awarded the defensive player of the game belt. And that's been really encouraging to see because it adds a level of, something you're playing for. And so Tim Hardaway has gotten it. Jalen's gotten it. Dorian Finney-Smith has gotten it. James Johnson has gotten it, who's one of the veterans on the Mavs team. And for the last game before All-Star, they awarded the whole team with the belt because they were really dedicated on both ends of the floor.
That's really fun to hear because it's almost like they are really kind of creating their own bubble type atmosphere where it's like we're gonna reward each other, we're gonna celebrate each other, and we're gonna acknowledge each other. And when you got that kind of atmosphere, man, you can become really dangerous.
Oh, yes, you definitely can. And it's been said from Tim Hardaway, as well as the rest of the guys as well. But Tim has always been focused this season, even when he was back with the Knicks. Whatever's happening outside of our locker room, they don't care about. They're only focused on what's happening inside their locker room with their team. And when you have that mindset, nothing else is going to affect you.
Yeah, I kind of like it because, everybody's talking about the Lakers, everybody's talking about the Clippers and, and Denver and all these other teams. Now Utah is kind of getting a little bit more shine than they're used to. And, question is, can they handle it? I like it when teams like the Mavericks, the Spurs, used to be the Rockets, but could fly under the radar and make some noise when it really counts come playoff time.
Yes, absolutely. And that's one of the things that I think a few different franchises have gone through. You can even look at the Warriors kind of initially flying under the radar before they rose to the top. And especially Greg Popovich with the Spurs. Every season, I'm like, okay, is it just an automatic spot for the Spurs? Because where was they? It's like, what does Greg Popovich have on the NBA? Because he always there. But yeah, I mean,
in a playoff spot, and he's doing probably his best coaching right now. But I got to give some love to y'all's head coach too. I'm not a fan, I've told you and your mom that, but I got to give some respect to him because he's doing a great job coaching these guys up.
Yes, and that's one thing about Rick Carlisle. Honestly, you've never seen him and Jim Carrey in the same room together. I'm just saying, but Rick Carlisle, he's not afraid of the moment. He's not afraid of the pressure. He's been within the NBA as a player, as a coach, as a broadcaster. He knows this whole organization through and through. So even on the nights where I know there was one game, I forgot our opponent, but we lost, and it was basically because Carlisle accepted the loss, and they should have took a foul to give instead of actually allowing the other team to score to win. And that's a coach's decision because the coach will say, "Are we taking this foul or don't foul?" And even on nights like that where it's a tough loss, Carlisle has stepped up to the plate and said, "This one is on me." And he's never been afraid of that moment. And even on the nights where it's not on him, he'll say that too.
What's interesting is, we hear that a lot with when Bill O'Brien will say, "Oh yeah, I got to coach better. They got to, do this better." Da 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 da. With Carlisle, I believe it. With Bill, it was almost like, "Let me tell you this so you can shut up and then don't ask me nothing else." But with Carlisle, I kind of feel like there's a sense of responsibility and ownership there.
Right, there absolutely is. And I think you've seen that, and I know not everyone was able to, see Carlisle's career firsthand, but he's just always a guy you can depend on. He may not be, always in the starting lineup without, throughout his career. He may not be the guy that's going to take the last shot, but he's a dependable guy. He's got the foundation of this game down pat.
Absolutely. I am Valencia King from Real Talk Sports and The Dialogue, joining us here on Media Monday, Women's History Month as well. I got to take another quick break. When we come back, let's talk about the components of the Dallas Mavericks, their current makeup. Is it enough to really get where they ultimately want to be? And then let's get some highlights from you from the All-Star game last night, because you talked about a dunk and said it was all smooth. I was like, ooh, smooth. We'll be right back with Valencia King right after this on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK.
Hi, I'm Linda J. I recently purchased 4 new tires from OMG Tires and More, located at 3124 Tidwell between 59 and Jensen. TK got me in and out in less than 30 minutes. While there, I got my car washed. Do you need rims for your car? OMG has them too. OMG Tires and More is your one-stop shop for all your tire needs. So give them a call at 832-767-3211. That's 832-767-3211. Conveniently located at 3124 Tidwell between 59 and Jensen on the north side.
KYOK 1140 AM. The legendary KYOK 92.3 FM. 2 radio stations in one.
I'm Larry Scott, host of the Not So Christian and Me Show. Join me Saturdays for great fun, interviews, music, and the latest news surrounding our world today. We are the show that cares to hear your voice and opinion with real conversation in a no judgment zone. So join me Saturdays from 1 to 2 p.m. on the Not So Christian and Me Show, right here on the legendary KYOK Radio, 1140 AM, and the all-new 92.3 FM at KYOKradio.org.
Hey, you want some sports with your lunch? Well, tune in to the legendary KYOK at the lunch break, and I'm Raven Rogers.
Y'all, we got new school and old school right here on the show right now. Valencia King, she say she knows a little something about this old school stuff, but I think she might know the remix. I think she might know the remix. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, it is Media Monday. It is the day after the All-Star game. I've got Valencia King on the show and got a caller. And he's one of my favorite callers. It's none other than Longhorn Keith. What's going on, man?
Man, everything's good, bro. Let me just say this before. Hello, Miss King. How are you?
I'm doing well. Hope you're doing well as well.
Yes, ma'am. Listen, before I get started, man, I got to tell you, you went back so far, man. I know this young lady's got not for me. This back in the day when we used to do house parties and really party, man, before the club was ever a thing for a kid growing up in the little small towns in Houston, Texas. So, yeah, that was some good music you just played there, bro.
You know, I got to mix it up a little bit, but, I'm going to tell you now, Valencia's got one of them old souls, so she might know a little something about that. She might know a little something.
Yes, I absolutely do. I just, real quick, I just DJ'd for my parents and my aunt and her husband. They were playing cards on Saturday night for 5 hours straight, and I got 5-star reviews, okay?
Hey, DJ, just play that song, keep it.
Gotcha. Well, listen, first off, let me say this. Happy International Women's Day to Valencia and to all the wonderful people in this industry that do what she does as a woman. Certainly appreciate everything that queens like you do, and more importantly, the professionalism in which you bring it. Certainly, we understand that there are always obstacles and that you have to overcome just for the essence of being who you are. But we certainly appreciate every time that you're on and you can grace us with your presence here on the wonderful KYOK with my man AJ. So it's always good to hear your voice and your sports takes. But I want to talk real quick. Speaking of Women's International or International Women's Day, about the queen that was the first Black queen nominated to get a job in the NFL. That's Maya Shaka. I'm not sure if you guys saw on Friday, the NFL announced that she would be the first Black full-time referee officiating NFL games. and the work that this sister has put in, it speaks, volumes to how hard she has worked to make it in this industry. So I'm kudos and hats off to her for getting that opportunity into the NFL, for allowing, or more importantly, to see the work that she has done. Because I'll tell you, man, I tried to officiate high school football, but I loved the game too much, so I became more of a fan, and I wouldn't throw no flags out there. I would be watching kids out there running around and miss a whole holding call. The parents would be upset, and I just said, no, I can't do this. But I think it's pretty awesome that she got that opportunity, and again, because of the work that she has put in, and not just because of this is kind of a make it right type of moment. So I'm super excited about her. And then the last thing I want to dialogue with you guys about. So have you guys paid close attention to the NCAA and what's going to take place this year in sports in the 2021 season in regards, starting this fall, in regards to the NIL, the name, image, and likeness rule?
Valencia, have you been following the NCAA name, image, and likeness thing that kicks in, becomes in effect in the fall this year?
Not kind of vaguely, so I'm definitely.
Yeah, Longhorn, I definitely have. I'm on it because I've been shouting for that since the beginning of time. I mean, think about it. My name is Andre Jones, and I can't make money off my own name, but you can put it on a doggone video game. It looked just like, head big, just like me, glasses thick, just like mine, and y'all making money, but I'm not. Off my stuff? Like, come on, man. Come on, only in America.
Right. Yeah, man. So I'm super excited about this, man, because finally the representation that kids will be able to have, and more importantly, to be able to market themselves in ways, especially using their social media platforms. I think I spoke to Dad the other day. I said to him, I think it's important that these kids coming straight out of high school start getting them a business attorney, or at least having some idea of what to do with their finances, because they can be approached by any reputable brand and say, hey, we want you to market for us. And they can get paid for that while also earning a full-time or full degree being paid by the college and university. And I think it's important that our children, because as one article wrote, if it's okay for head coaches who have never or rarely played the game to be multimillionaires off the back of highly talented and skilled, mainly majority African-American student athletes, why can't student athletes do the same thing in return or reap some of the benefits? So I think it's going to be fantastic to see that happen, and I can't wait to see what the end results are for the kids, and that the parents will just make sure that they get them the proper representation.
Yeah, Keith, I'm in agreement with you. I'm all for people, either getting educated on it themselves or bringing in the right people who are going to do the right thing for the kid, for the family, and all of the above. Like you said, it's a good thing. We don't need the wrong people getting into it, making it a bad thing before it ever gets started. And then the naysayers hit it with the, oh, I told you. So I'm with you 100%. I hope that the families do the right thing by getting the right people in their circle so that it's a good thing for everybody involved.
Absolutely. Hey, well, man, I just wanted to quickly chime in about that. As always, love and enjoy listening to you. And more importantly, when Valencia King is on, it makes it a whole lot better show. So thank you, man.
Appreciate you, Longhorn Keith, one of my favorite dudes. The IQ of the show always goes up when he calls in.
Come on, man.
Yeah, he's a good dude. Very good dude. I feel bad for his Longhorns sometimes, but other than they got to win though. They got to win. They got a little win in basketball. They still rolling. I'm hoping Shaka Smart doesn't get fired. But like you said, the young lady Maya Shaka, I'm so happy for her because, like he said, she didn't get it as a token. She got it due to hard work and meritocracy, and I'm glad to see that. Nobody wants to turn down. Everybody's just fair chance.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love what she said. She said it's an accomplishment for all women, my community, and my culture. She says it's bigger than a personal accomplishment for her. And she's right. she's right. You know, it's a great moment for her, but I know she's wanting to see it expand from here. Like, this can't be the peak.
Yeah, that's another thing that I like about what the NBA All-Star crew did. That entire black crew, number one, and then number two, all HBCU grads, was just absolutely phenomenal. I love when people get a chance to do what they do on the highest stage possible. And see, guess what? They just like everybody else. You know what I mean? They don't referee less than they do over in the SEC. They don't referee less than they do over in the Big Ten. You know what I mean? It was real good to see, and I'm happy for her. I'm happy for them. I'm happy for us.
Exactly. When one of us wins, we all win.
Come on now. Come on in the room. So that being said, tell me about these Dallas Mavericks as they are constructed today. Can they legitimately challenge for a title, or what kind of tweaks, pieces, additions, subtractions do they need to make to be in that conversation?
Yeah, well, as it stands right now, Mavs are 18-16. They're number 8 in the Western Conference. So that means there's 7 teams ahead of them at the moment. And so I believe if the Mavs were to stay on this pace, they will be in the playoffs. But I think they do need to kick it into another gear if they want to get higher than the 8th seed. Because if you recall from the new rules, there's still that play-in tournament. Right. So if you're in the 8, it's no longer guaranteed. You can be knocked out. Right. And so they want to get higher. If they can get to a 5 or a 6, that would be lovely. I don't know if they can get to not a 1, but a 3 or a 4. You just never know, because it's not about who's healthiest right now. It's who's healthiest down the line. And so I think that the main issue isn't going to be if the Mavs can get into the playoffs. It's going to be what they do when they get there. And so for the past few seasons, the Mavs haven't made it out of the first round. So it's no longer a goal just to get to the playoffs. The Mavs need to accomplish something in the playoffs. And even when they were in the bubble, they definitely had their moments. I mean, there's always the coulda, woulda, shoulda, KP getting ejected, I believe, out of game 2, and we would have won if he didn't, and all these other things. You can't go by those. You have to use what you have in the moment. And so, like I said, I think the Mavs are going to be in the playoffs, but it's about what they do when they get there. Can they show up and be the Mavs they're supposed to be?
So you've been doing this for a while with your little young self, been doing this for a while. Do you think the Mavs want to see a team like Utah or the Lakers early, or do they want to get through and see them in one of the either conference finals or, later rounds of the play? Do they need to get a series win under their belt and then take on a team like that, or do they need to beat a team like that and then, roll off that momentum?
No, the later the better. the later the better. I think getting a series win under their belt will add fuel to the fire of them. We already know the Mavs believe in themselves. If they didn't, then we wouldn't even be talking about them. These are professional men that can do the job they're supposed to do. So it's just a matter of when the time comes. I think they need that first series win under their belt. Gotcha. And then we can talk about facing a Lakers or whomever else later down the line. But that first round has got to be a win of a series for it. It just if they don't come out of the first round, then we're just repeating the cycle. This is the season for them to pull it together. And I don't even want to say at least get to the second round. Go for it. Once you're in the playoffs, you've already made it so far, because there's teams that are not where you're at. So once you're in the playoffs, you've got to throw everything at the wall and see what sticks.
I'm like that too. I love the teams that say, why not us? You know what I mean? Like what Miami did last year was just amazing to me, because they didn't care nothing about Milwaukee. They didn't care nothing about Boston and all Philly and all these other supposedly much better teams. They're like, why not us? We down here. Right. Jimmy Butler was like, listen, man, this is a business trip. I'll see my family when I get home from work, and they rolled through everybody except the Lakers. So I'd love to see the Mavericks go on a run like that. That'd be fun to watch.
And what made it even more comical for me when Jimmy said that is he was a new dad at the moment. Like, I don't know if the baby was 24 hours old. He said, I'll see you later.
Jimmy was about it. He was like, listen. So, all that considered, last night, All-Star game, what were some of the highlights? What were some of the takeaways for you?
So honestly, covering All Star virtually was a bit different. I did not mind it, but it was a bit different. So for those of you guys who may not know, the media realm for All Star on a regular first day media day, it's just a rambunctious group of media personnel, and there's no seated chairs. There's nothing. You're just actually throwing your mic up towards a podium and yelling to get your question, and it's a crowd of people. So I didn't miss that at all.
Exactly.
Right. I didn't miss that part of it. However, the virtual side was nice. It was good. I got a chance to talk to about 7 or 8 guys. Bradley Bill, Julius Randle. I talked to Julius Randle because obviously it was his first time being an all-star. And of course, people were asking him, does your son understand it? And he's like, yeah, my son is kind of, understanding it for his age. Or he might be about 5 or maybe 4 or 5 at the moment. And he was saying his son runs around and says, all-star kid, all-star kid. But what I wanted to ask Julius is because I heard him mention, I listened to a podcast called the Joe Budden Podcast, and he told them that he cried when he found out that he was an all-star because it was his first one, obviously. So I asked Julius, I said, okay, when your son is a little bit older, how are you going to explain that moment to him so he will understand it? And he really gave me a really thoughtful answer, and that'll be up on my YouTube channel later today, Valencia King TV. But he was basically explaining that all of his hard work got him to this moment, the time, the dedication, the sacrifices. And he was explaining how that's what he'll break it down for his son when he gets older so that he can understand it's not just about the glamour of being an all-star. It's about the process and the journey it took to get there. Because Julius has been in the league.
Right.
So it's a moment for him.
I love that. And can I step out of interview character for a second? You better always be branded. You better always be branded. Tell us that YouTube channel again.
Yes, of course. It's Valencia King TV. But even if you put in I am Valencia King or Valencia King, I'll pop up. But it's Valencia King TV. And there's going to be a lot of great content on there because I made sure to, this is what I do regardless, even if it's virtual or not. But I was talking to the guys, not just about All-Star and their, what is it like? There's no fans, the stuff that they kind of already talked about. I talked to Bradley Bill because everyone is so focused on HBCUs at the moment, which is a great thing. But I asked Bradley Bill, what advice would you give to college students that are going to be leaving college and preparing for life outside of college and they're trying to, find themselves? And he even said to me, he was like, I think it's funny because we always think we have to have it figured out. And I would tell you that you don't have to have it figured out at the moment. Just enjoy the journey, keep finding yourself. And he gave me a long answer, but it was really thoughtful there as well. And then Robert Covington, whose journey to the NBA was not glamorous. He talked about how his projections were to play overseas. But for him being in the NBA, being an All-Star weekend it just wasn't predicted for him. And so I was talking to him about, his family support and how that helped him. And then I also asked him from the college experience, how do you find people that are truly for you? Because we know when you get to college, I like to say it's just a bunch of people who think they're grown. And so for college kids that are coming into that area, into that transition, how do you figure out who's really your friend? And he really kind of broke that down about how he was able to find lifelong friends in his college time and what it looks like for him. So that way someone can maybe know what it'll look like for them to know, is this person really for me? Do they have my best interest at heart? And vice versa. So there was a lot of thoughtful questions and thoughtful answers that I was getting from the gentleman during All-Star. And that was my goal because they're highlighting HBCUs in that college experience. So why not talk about it and not just in the sense of, yeah, we're getting them some money. Yeah, it's great we're highlighting them. But no, what's some real life things that they can hear from somebody who's made it in their profession that they can take with them on their journey as well?
See, I absolutely love that. This is why I always say you got to have different voices for different content. We don't need the same questions asked by different people. And it's like duplicated content across the land. I got to take a quick break. When we come back, I want to dig some more into that because that's good stuff right here on the lunch break on the legiondary KYOK.
Now, in-home or in-office, do-it-yourself COVID-19 testing is available to you.
Thank you. I promise I was sitting here in the same area like, okay, how am I going to make the most of this virtual coverage?
That is phenomenal. I love that you had the leeway to do that, because around here, you're asking questions like a fan and not a broadcast journalist. It's like, lady, this is what my listeners want. Do you mind?
Right.
You know, I mean, yeah, I love it though. I love it. Valencia King TV.
Yes, sir.
All right, listen, I got one more break.
Pricing starts at $119 and discounts are available for larger orders. Call now. 800-247-8046. 800-247-8046. That's 800-247-8046.
Hey, Monica Morris Howard.
Do you watch television? Of course you do. Then have you tried Dish TV from All American Dish yet? No? Well, now is a great time because we're giving everyone that calls today a 2-year locked-in price. Your rate will not change for 2 years. The clock is ticking. Call now, get Dish, and get your price locked in for 2 years and save yourself some money. Dish has your favorite TV programs, even Netflix and Amazon Prime built into the DVR. You can even watch Dish anywhere you have an internet connection. Plus, we've even got awesome discounts for the military and seniors. Oh, and one more thing. Call All American Dish now and we'll even give you a free Google TV voice remote, free installation, and free equipment. Don't wait. Call All American Dish now.
800-296-1302. 800-296-1302. 800-296-1302. That's 800-296-1302.
Hey guys, this is your girl Brandy Nelson, and you are listening to The Lunch Break on KYOK.
All right, y'all, we are back on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. Got a shout out to Natasha Gransberry, Haywood Liggett, Monica Morris Howard. Sydney Brown says, I love those real life questions. I do too. So again, I'm glad that you had that opportunity, number one. And number two, I'm glad that you had the opportunity to do it your way. Are you finding that's the case more with these virtual coverages as opposed to, like you said, when we're in that full environment? I didn't miss being one of 5,000 media people at the Super Bowl Media Day. I liked that, you're on the video and you're able to, raise your hand and ask the question, and they actually call on you. And I like it's almost like they put multiple media opportunities out there, once you get credentialed for these major events, as opposed to, you're having to read the paper. Okay, we got to go to this, might need to go to that kind of thing. I like that it's all, virtual and electronic. That's just me.
Right. No, I definitely enjoyed it. The one thing I will say, and I have to say, this is a lighthearted joke. Don't need anyone coming from me. But I want to say they could give the players some better Wi-Fi in whatever hotel they were staying in. There was a few times where we're all on the Zooms and the players just keep freezing in the middle of their answers. And then all the media people are looking in the camera like, that was me. I was asking Jaylen Brown a question about his time giving back to the youth, because that's what his organization does, even before last year. And he froze, and I said, can I get a thumbs up if everyone else can hear me? And the other media people on the camera were like giving me the thumbs up. I said, okay. Then the moderator was like, yeah, I think Jaylen froze for a moment. And then he came back in the middle of my answer. So I don't know what he said for the first half, but the second half was okay.
That's funny. Come on, NBA, be best, do better.
We can't get them some hot spots or something. So that was fun. Just kind of funny moments. But I know technology, and we're all learning through Zoom or whatever platforms you may be using. When it's live, and that's all you can do about it.
Let me ask you this. Obviously, there was a lot of conversation about whether the game should have been played at all. I know LeBron, obviously, it was the most outspoken about. What were your thoughts about whether the game itself should have ever been played?
Right. So I'm now that it's happened, it appears as though they did it in a safe manner and, as safe as possible. And I know at the end of the day, the NBA is a business, so they can say what they want to say about, we want to do this for the fans. We have all this fan social media engagement, because I was in on Adam Silver's media availability, and he kept stressing, fan involvement, fan engagement, social media hits, international fans. So it's a business. They've got to run a business. I understand that. And even James Harden, I want to say it was James Harden, who said, he wasn't too fond of it, but he said, I can't say too much, but if you look in our contract, he's like, I don't want to say that we're forced to be here, but it's in our contract. And it may not have been James.
I ain't mad at James. Come on, James. The whole truth and nothing but the truth.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So I understand that it's they're obligated to a certain extent.
Yeah.
So I do understand that side of it.
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Right. Exactly. But yeah, initially I wasn't for All-Star just because it didn't seem like necessary, as far as, risking the people that have to travel to be there and everything of that nature. But now that it's happened, like I said, it appears that everything was done safely. I guess we'll see once the All-Star break is done, how many tests come back and what they look like.
Well, tell your mom and dad that the 4 of us are going to start a business. It's called Corona Free Cuts. And we're going to dress up in hazmat suits. We're going to hire people in hazmat suits to go and cut people's hair so they can still be eligible to play because we don't pop up, positive. It just blows my mind. And again, it's nothing malicious. It's not even anything where they were lax or, got caught sleeping. You're trying to get a cut. You think everything is good, and then you find out after the fact that that's not the case. And now Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons were unable to play in the game, and it was too late for them to even be replaced. So literally 4 people missed out on an all-star opportunity over circumstances beyond their control.
Yes, it's absolutely unfortunate because, like you said, they're taking the right protocols, they're doing what they need to do. And even LeBron, after the All-Star, I want to say it was after the All-Star game, might have been before, he was asked about his experience and, how has he been able to not get COVID? And he's like, I'm not a COVID expert. It's just, it's luck and, doing the protocols, because they were asking him obviously about Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. And he's like, there's no magic here. And so he's obviously saying, fortunate to not have been affected or at least contacted it. But yeah, like you said, it's unfortunate situations and there's no rhyme or reason to it. You do the right things, you stay, where you're supposed to stay. A lot of the players were like, whenever they were asked, how's the experience been? They're like, I got off the plane and I've been in my hotel room. Ta-da.
That's it. I mean, I don't want to sound cliché, but it is the new normal. Given that the governor of Texas has declared Wednesday the day that we snatching the masks off and we 100% open, no matter what kind of business, you running back down there to the center and sitting amongst your peers with no mask on, elbow to elbow, close and close?
Yeah, no, not I. Not 1, 2, 3, not it. Now, respectfully, I know KYOK is the gospel station. There is an artist by the name of Future who has a song called Mask On, Mask Off. At this point, I'm not doing anything with my mask off until Future says so. I don't care what the governor said. Did Future say it? No. Okay. I'm not doing it.
Oh man. Listen, they just gonna have to talk to me through a mask because I'm wearing mine. So
yes, absolutely.
Let's talk real quick about both sides of the East and the West. Obviously, there's some surprise teams over in the East, and it looks like one of them just got a little bit stronger if and when it becomes official that Blake has signed with Brooklyn. Do they become the team to beat in the East, or are we still talking about Philly? Is Boston going to finally get their act together? What are you thinking?
I would love to see Boston pull it together. I know they've added new additions, made some arrangements, Seth Curry being there. So they have some great pieces that could pull it together. But when you look at the Brooklyn Nets, and if they're adding Blake Griffin, it's the running theme, the running joke, people posting up the new starting 5 with Blake Griffin in there, and they're saying all of this to beat LeBron. And, they might be right. But I don't think we can count out, Miami. Miami still might be playing with an extra chip on their shoulder because they did make it to the promised land. They just couldn't get in past the gate, so they might be coming back with the vengeance. And quiet is kept. I don't know what they'll look like in the playoffs, but quiet is kept. The Knicks, man.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. I'm excited to see the Knicks at number 8, number 7, number 6, number 5. I just want to see the Knicks in the play. And watch this. And they really look good.
Yes.
And I know it's early, but Tom Thibodeau, Eastern Conference Coach of the Year so far.
Mm-hmm.
First half of the year, Coach of the Year, Tom Thibodeau. Because these are the Knicks.
Yes.
I mean, the only thing stranger would be if Atlanta was on that level. But these are the Knicks.
Right. No, you're absolutely right. And I know with the trade of Derrick Rose and Dennis Smith Jr., I want to just give credit to the team that was with Dennis before the trade because they were already making waves before the Derrick Rose trade. So I want to give props to everybody, pre and prior to the trade. But also, it's not even about the Knicks for me. It's about the Knicks fans. Seeing the dedicated Knicks fans, like they have been through it all.
Baby, you got to know they have. You got to know they have. I mean, they hate their owner. They like the way he was dealing with Spike Lee. I mean, it's just been one. He kicked out Charles Oakley.
Yes.
It's been one thing after another. It really has been bad.
Yes, it's been a beautiful thing to just listen to Knicks fans and their excitement because they deserve it.
I'm with them. Come on, Knicks fans, y'all. Hold on, Knicks. Hold on.
Yes,
Hold
yes.
on.
And shout out to David Grubb.
You know what? I saw him with his shirt on. I was like, bro, you deserve it. You deserve it. Where you stuff, bro. Where you stuff. Valencia King. I am Valencia King joining me in this first hour on the show. So Valencia, again, it looks like it's going to be pretty tough in the East. Give me your top 2 teams from the East and your top 2 teams from the West.
Top 2 teams from the East. I'm gonna have to put Brooklyn there. Just as it so turns out, they're still doing what they need to do. Okay. I don't know if Philly will hold up. I would want them to, but I'm gonna still go with Brooklyn and Milwaukee for the East for top 2 teams. I could see Milwaukee sliding up in there. Top 2 teams in the West. Man, you just can't count out. You can't count out LeBron. You just can't. I know Utah is making headway. I understand. I see it. But I'm still gonna go with the Lakers and the Suns.
Wow, you got Phoenix making a leap like that?
Phoenix right now is number 2.
I know, but I'm just saying, stay there.
CP3, man.
I love that dude. You hear me? And it ain't just the HBC thing. I love that dude. When it didn't work out with him here in Houston, I was like, oh, no, it's James. Forget that. It's James.
Yeah, CP3. And what I appreciate about CP3 is he's going to give you all of him no matter what, whether he's happy, sad, in between. He's going to let you know, and that's exactly what it is. He's not sugarcoating anything. I will never forget Houston, Golden State. It might have been the first time they had to play each other. And they lost by 1 point. I think it was like 104, 105. And Chris Paul was like, I don't care if we have to get 105.5. If we don't have more points than them, that's the problem.
Let me tell you, Monty Williams, I am as happy for him as I am for anybody else in that Phoenix organization. I was covering New Orleans when Monty was a head coach of the Pelicans. And, of course, his wife passed away. And to see him do that press conference, and they did him in the hallway with the backdrop. Mm-hmm. And I mean it, man. You could just feel the weight of his words and his heart and what have you. And folks are still asking him basketball questions. And I'm just like, man, that guy right there, that's a legit dude right there. Because if he had been sitting over in the corner just shaking his head crying, it should have been acceptable. But he was standing up there trying to give the people, us, what we were supposed to be there to get. And it was at that moment that my respect level went up through the roof for him. So I'm really happy to see him excelling now in Phoenix with a great group of guys.
Yes. And that's why the guys can show up for him the way they do. Because he's that authentic guy. There's no other reason behind it. They can do their job because they know he's going to do his, and they're both there for each other. I know it's sometimes, not scripted, but it's not the full thing. But whenever the media gets a peek into the locker room or, like on the television broadcast and they show the coaches talking to the team, even in that little snippet, it's always so authentic. it's always so authentic. So I can just imagine how it is off camera and why they show up for him the way they do.
Well, I tell you what, I'd like your prediction to be true with Lakers and Phoenix. And let me say this, and you're probably not going to agree with me. I don't believe that Milwaukee is built for a 7-game series.
They're not. No. I agree.
Milwaukee can beat anybody on a given night, but somebody defensive related figures out how to make life so hard for Giannis, and they just don't have the outside shooters and the guys who can get their own shot and be playmakers outside of Giannis to get over the hump 4 times in a 7-game series. Mm-hmm. And until they address that, I hope it's, Brooklyn and Philadelphia so we can see a good series as opposed to Giannis carrying the load of, I didn't get it done again.
Right. Now, here's the thing. If the Miami team hasn't watched their series if Milwaukee hasn't watched their series against Miami once every 7 days to figure it out, that's a problem. And even once they do figure it out, we need pop quizzes one every 7 days because the way they were exposed, it's not teams get exposed. That's fine. It happens. But they need to hire someone. All 30 teams, so 29 other teams, they need to find assistant coaches that used to work for that team relatively closely to right now, hire them to tell them what that team would have done or will do against them. So they can predict that. I mean, it's not rocket science. You need to know what teams are going to do against you. You need to hire someone to play the antagonist.
Yeah. I know we got to get ready to go, but do me a favor. Give me your surprise team from the East and your sleeper team from the West.
Ooh, sleeper team from the West. I mean, you can't count out the Spurs. It's Greg Popovich. That's a sleeper pick. And the sleeper team from the East, the Knicks, we're not sleeping on them right now, but I think people they might think it's a flop or a fluke. So I'm going to stay with the Knicks. And the way, if you hear Julius Randle talk about them, it's a different system in there. It's different energy in the locker room. So I'm going to go with the Knicks for the East.
I'm not mad at either one of those. In fact, March 25th is still the NBA trade deadline. So anything can happen to make one of these sleepers not a pretender, but a contender. Not a pretender, but a contender. So I'm looking forward to it. Valencia, tell everybody where they can find you, follow you, and all the amazing stuff that you do.
Absolutely. Well, I am Valencia King, and you all can follow me and find me on social media at I am Valencia King because I am Valencia King, bada bing, bada boom. And be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Valencia King TV. There's already some great content on there, but later today and throughout this whole week, I'll be posting the all-star content. So like I mentioned, those questions that we all want to know about the college experience, how players can find people who are going to be great for their inner circle, all of those things will be coming to my YouTube channel this week. Again, that is Valencia King TV. And if you'd like for me to be a guest or speak to your youth group, I do be speaking in these speaking streets. So please let me know. You can find my email and all of that information on my social media, or just slide me a DM and we will make it happen.
I will highly endorse everything that she just said. And as I said to you earlier, always be Brandon. Always.
Yes. And I love that your next guest, I'm looking at the scroll, it's another V name. Is that Vashti?
Vashti Hurt.
Oh, Vashti. Okay, yes. The V and V's. We're in the building today.
You know what? And that's what I was going to say today. The V's have it today. So yes. I appreciate you, dear. We'll talk soon, okay?
All right. Talk soon. Everybody take care and enjoy the rest. The second hour about to go up another level. So y'all just stay tuned, okay?
Love you, Valencia.
All right. Take care.
The views and opinions expressed on all radio shows broadcast on KYOK are entirely those of the host, guests, and callers, who are entirely responsible for all show content and do not in any way reflect the opinions of KYOK Radio, its sponsors, staff, or management.
Field today. Ask yourself this question. What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Game time! What time is it? Let's go! We ready! We ready! We ready! We ready! I'm going to the house! I'm going to the house! When I step on the field, I send one This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. Football is getting hit. That's it.
It's gonna be football now. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? It's hot now. It's hot now. Let's go. It's hot. We ready? Let's go to the house. Let's go to the house.
We're talking about the Jets like we're talking about the Saints. You know, all this, I know we the Miami Heat of football. Yeah. The bottom line is you got to buckle up with chin straps. It's embarrassing. Yeah. Don't disrespect the game like that. Too much crying from him. He's a man. They can be a hit just like us. He's a man. You already make the big money. He's a man. I'm telling you, still on the field, man. That's war out there. When I step on the field, I send one message. This is what it feels like. Oh, my bad. You had no work in my world.
What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. We ready?
I'm hitting you up right now.
Hey.
It's a wrap. Game over.
Man, this game is not over. That's first hour on the books, second hour underway right here on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM, streaming live 24/7 at kyokradio.org. All the way from the East Coast, kind of down in the south part of it, though, it is none other than Miss Carolina Blitz, Vashti. Vashti, how you doing?
I see you rocking the Prairie View shirt.
Okay, so they got bragging rights for the 6th year in a row after scoring a late touchdown against Texas Southern. About a minute and 40 seconds left to go, and it was the thing. You cover football, so you know. When you trade field goals for touchdowns, eventually it's going to catch up to you, and that's what happened to TSU. So I got to give Prairie View some love. Got to give them some love.
I see.
Man, so really, what's been going on? I know you have been busy. You got a lot going on over there in Carolina.
Yeah, well, college football regular season is wrapping up. So this week, starting tomorrow, I'll be covering the ACC tournament in Greensboro. And then we'll see what happens with NCAA. It's still kind of up in the air. Duke more than likely won't make it. Of the schools that I cover, UNC possibly. So I don't know if I'll be in Indianapolis or not. And then football and draft. So, it just doesn't stop.
And you run the whole show. So like for you, it really does not stop. You did touch on something that I don't think we've heard and you can probably tell us when the last time this might have happened, where Duke and possibly North Carolina are both not in the big dance. I mean,
I think there might have maybe the 60s, both of them. I think North Carolina makes it in, but Duke, unless they win the ACC tournament this week, it'll be a very tough feat for them to do that. They won't make the NCAA tournament. That'll be the first time, I think, since 95 that they haven't made the NCAA tournament. So, yeah.
Yeah, I got to tell you, I've been watching your coverage of, Duke and North Carolina via social media, and just the way you talked about how Coach K took full responsibility of the most recent beatdown at the hands of North Carolina. I felt like there was a different level of contrition and ownership that, not that he's been arrogant or anything like that, but just the realization, I did not have these young men ready to go.
Yeah, and it was amazing. You hear him take responsibility for things, but this past week, it seemed like he made a point of saying, I didn't have my guys ready. I wasn't prepared. They weren't prepared, and that's on me. And so, yeah, this season has been rough. And, for Duke especially. And I mean, I think I wouldn't even, they may get an NIT invite, but I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't accept it. It's just been rough for them. Maybe they just want to regroup and start next year. But I think that loss to UNC kind of, and the way that they lost kind of sums up the whole season for Duke. And Coach K is kind of like, it wears on you. It wears on coaches, and it also wears on the players. So we'll see how they come into this ACC tournament. They have the talent, to make a run. I just don't know if they're able to do that. Their backcourt is really young, and they haven't progressed as they should have this season. So.
Yeah, I had a young man that played up at Ohio State who, I've seen him and another guy in the backcourt. He says at this time of year, it's about your backcourt.
Yeah.
When your guards can play in college and in tournament time, you're going to go far. But when your guards can't play, it's usually tough to take it from there. And that's been kind of tough for Duke this season.
Yeah, and UNC, they've had their issues with guard play. Caleb Love seems to get up when they play for Duke, but other games, he may turn over the ball. And you have two young guys in Love and RJ Davis, and Duke has two young guys in DJ Stewart and Jeremy Roach. And it's no secret, come tournament time, come March Madness, the team with the better guards, the more senior guards, the more experienced guards usually play. I will never forget that Zion Williamson led Duke squad that was supposed to go all of the way. And they ran into a Michigan State team led by senior guards, and they lost. Mm-hmm. And so that's just what it is. So, we'll see what happens this week with the ACC tournament. We'll see how it goes as far as them letting in a few fans in this COVID environment. Everything is kind of up in the air. Everything is new. So we get through.
I got you. So just if everything holds the form, who's definitely going to be the team to beat in the ACC tournament?
I would have said Florida State before this past week because they lost to Notre Dame, and they also lost to that UNC game where they had a nearly 20-point lead that they ended up losing in the second half of that game. So I would have said Florida State. I guess it's either Virginia or Florida State at this point.
Yeah. Virginia is another one of those teams that, boy, it seems like this is going to be their year, and something happens.
Right.
And, here we go again. We got Vashti joining us from Carolina Blitz. Let's go up to the next level, man. Y'all got one of my favorite I told you so players in LaMelo Ball. And I mean it. There are a whole lot of people that owe that young man an apology, and I sure wish they would get to it because all he has done is become fun to watch. You're there. Tell us what we're missing.
I mean, I haven't seen him in person yet. All I know is the buzz around Charlotte is all about LaMelo Ball, and it's amazing how Carolina loses Cam Newton, and then they get someone kind of to replace him in LaMelo Ball with that same level of excitement and newness. And so, I would say that Carolina sports was kind of blessed in that manner. But yeah, I mean, it's like when I post something about LaMelo Ball, it pops. And it could just be a pass. It may be a dunk. It may be a graphic with how many points he scored. Like, he has infused life into Charlotte's NBA scene, which I think is very important because Charlotte is the hoop state. Yeah. And so it's known for basketball. Charlotte also is the only professional sports team owned by a Black man. So I'm very happy that now Charlotte is getting some attention through that LaMelo Ball pick. And, I feel like they should get even more attention, and hopefully it will continue to grow. But, shouts out to LeVar Ball, man. He, he's a bit much, but he delivered on this one. He
didn't lie. He did not lie. And I was going to say, when they passing out those apologies, hit LaMelo, hit LeVar, and hit Jordan. Because a lot of people said, here is another sign that Michael Jordan does not know how to evaluate talent. And I'm sorry, they were dead wrong. And I like what's happening right there in Charlotte with that young man.
Yeah, and I think that some of the criticism of Jordan is kind of unfair. I think that because of what happened with Washington and Kwame Brown, where he was actually making those decisions, that has followed him. I'm sure Michael Jordan has input into the personnel decisions with the Hornets. I mean, he's the GOAT, right? But you had Rich Cho that did not do a good job. I think that they felt like he was going to be able to duplicate what he did in Seattle, which ended up in Oklahoma City, where they had, Westbrook and Durant and Harden. Like they were all there at the same time at one point. He was not able to duplicate that. So now Kupchak has come in and he's doing a good job so far, and we'll see. But all of that, Jordan is running the team into the ground. Like, he has hired general managers to do the work. So let's put some of that on them and not all of it on Michael.
That's why I'm so glad to have you. I mean that. Vashti Hurd, Carolina Blitz, tuned in with us. Got to take a quick break. When we come back, I want to talk a little bit about your thoughts on the NBA All-Star game last night. And then we got to talk about those Carolina Panthers. We got to get into that. All right, we'll do that when we come back. Vashti Hurd, Carolina Blitz. If you want to get in, 281-453-1000, 281-453-1000, or text me, 832-403-5005. That's 832-403-5005. It's the lunch break on the legendary KYOK.
Attention business owners, listen carefully to this important message. Are you tired of struggling with monthly bookkeeping or always being behind? Maybe you're fed up with paying your CPA ridiculously high hourly rates for subpar services.
Okay, I'm gonna I thought my laptop had more juice. I'm gonna get my plug real quick.
Okay, no problem.
All right.
At Finance Pal, we take over your books and design a program custom tailored to fit your needs. Whether it's bookkeeping, payroll, bill pay, inventory tracking, or taxes, we have you covered. We handle some or all of these services for one flat, affordable, low monthly fee. Stop worrying about your books and drowning in paperwork. Let us worry while you focus on growing your business. This setup is easy, and we give you the tools and technology to make your monthly finances streamlined and organized. Call now for a free business assessment.
800-213-9527. 800-213-9527. 800-213-9527. That's 800-213-9527. Here's an important COVID-19 school system update for your local area. If you're concerned about your child's education, please pay close attention to this message. The current school systems were not set up for at-home learning. If you're worried that your child may not be getting the grades they need to get ahead, maybe losing self-confidence, or you're worried about them getting into a good college because of their grades, help is available to you. Call Grade Potential Tutoring. They can help with in-home or online tutoring and help your child with any subject and every grade level, even for test prep. They're experts in the home tutoring and online tutoring field and confident they can help you and your child get better grades today. Call now for your free consultation. 800-580-7680. 800-580-7680. 800-580-7680. That's 800-580-7680.
The legendary KYOK 1140 AM and 92.3 FM. The legend continues.
Hi, this is Sonia from Southeast Houston, and you're listening to The Lunch Break on 92.3 and KYOK.
All right, y'all, back here on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM. It is our Media Monday. It's Women's History Month. It's International Women's Day. I mean, it's a lot going on today, and I'm just glad to have, two of the best on the show today. First hour, we had Valencia King, Real Talk Sports, The Dialogue, and Valencia King TV. And now all the way from the East Coast, it is Miss Carolina Blitz herself, Vashti Hurd. I appreciate you coming on and allowing us to see you, man. Last time you just gave me the little thing. I was like, Vashti.
I know.
I see you blessed us today. I'm going to leave it alone before you kill your camera. So last night, NBA All-Star Game. I mean, again, the big question was, should it have been played? Your thoughts on whether it should have been played, and then your thoughts on what you saw and what happened last night.
I think the NBA has been, compared to other leagues, they have done a good job of staying socially conscious, of being socially aware, of being careful with how they handled the bubble when it came to resuming the season last year. I thought that the decision to hold All-Star in Atlanta was not necessary. And not just because of the game, but because, of the festivities that surround it that are socially irresponsible during a pandemic. And the NBA can try to separate themselves from that as much as they can, but there really is no separation. If you have an event of that magnitude, that is usually has a party-like atmosphere surrounding it. That's what's going to happen if you do that and you put it in the middle of one of the biggest party towns, Atlanta. And so clubs were packed, people were packed. I just hope that, I hope that nobody's grandmother or mother or themselves gets sick from COVID and succumbs to it for a weekend of partying at All-Stars. So from a social standpoint, I thought that it was an irresponsible decision. The game was, I liked the focus on HBCUs. I think that that's good. And I think that that's kind of their way to kind of make it better, the decision that they made to have that event in Atlanta. So I get what they did. But I like the highlight of HBCUs. I think that that's important. So yeah, the game itself, I don't know. A lot of guys, I don't think really wanted to play in it. And they made that known. We're going to do it because, this is what we do. But they didn't necessarily want to play in it. It's high scoring, no defense. So yeah, the dunk contest was, it was blah to me. It really was. And, I don't know whether that was because of the times that we're in. But I'm used to a whole group of events, and to cram everything into that one night, it was a bit forced for me.
Yeah. And to hear some of the guys, kind of dance around, this is in our contract. We're just here so we don't get fined. Right. I get the fine line between it is a business and any amount of money is better than, I guess, no money at all. But it just feels like, the exhibition games ought to be the one area that you've got more control over what you do, how you do it, and when you do it, given, what's going on right now. I guess that's where I am, but I get it. Business versus no business at all, it's a tough line to be.
Yeah, but these guys even the college kids, I think about the sacrifices that they've had to make to play sports for free, right? Yeah. And you have no social life. I remember the whole debacle with UNC, and they had a party, and there were, it was the basketball managers and people within their circle, but then some other people got in, and there was video posted. Like, I cannot imagine my freshman year of college not being able to do college things. Mm-hmm. Like these athletes, and even professional athletes, they don't get to go out. They don't have social outlets. I know the college guys, they did not live on dorms. They don't even know their campuses. It's the sports facility and a hotel that they're staying at to keep them isolated from students. It's just a tremendous sacrifice from athletes on all levels. And sometimes you need a mental reprieve. And They could use this as a reprieve, a mental break, time to spend extended time with family, maybe even possibly get away. Who knows? But if it's tough for us and we don't have nearly the amount of pressure that they have, and then I know it's extremely hard for them. So yeah, the guys didn't want to do it, and I know why. Sometimes you just need a break.
Yeah. Vashti, I heard Carolina Blitz joining us on the lunch break. Quick question. And I'm sorry, I got one more quick break, and then I'll hold my question till after this quick break. We'll be right back with Vashti right after this on the lunch break, brought to you by OMG Tires and more.
Hi, I'm Linda J. I recently purchased 4 new tires from OMG Tires and More, located at 3124
this commercial and a jingle.
59 and Jensen. TK got me in and out in less than 30 minutes. While there, I got my car washed. Do you need rims for your car? OMG has them too. OMG Tires and More is your one-stop shop for all your tire needs. So give them a call at 832-767-3211. That's 832-767-3211. Conveniently located at 3124 Tidwell between 59 and Jensen on the north side.
KYOK 1140 AM. The legendary KYOK 92.3 FM. Radio stations in one.
I'm Larry Scott, host of the Not So Christian and Me show.
Okay,
Join
coming
me
right after
Saturdays
this.
for great fun,
Okay.
interviews, music, and the latest news surrounding our world today. We are the show that cares to hear your voice and
Okay,
opinion.
I got a question
real
too.
conversation in a no judgment zone.
All right,
So
that'll
join me
fall
Saturdays
into our
from 1 to 2
topic
p.m.
after
on
this
the
question I
Not
have
So
for you.
Christian and Me show, right here
Gotcha,
on
Emil.
the
I see
legendary
you.
KYOK Radio, 1140 a.m. and the all-new 92.3 FM at KYOKradio.org. Hey, what's up? This is your boy James Fortune, and you are listening to The Lunch Break. Keep it locked.
All right, y'all, we back up in this thing. It's Media Monday, and I've got, somebody that I highly respect all the way from Carolina. It is Carolina Blitz's own Vashti Hurt, and somebody just called in. You know what caller I'm going to do? I'm going to pull the music down. I'm going to move you to the front of the line. Hello, who is this live on the lunch break?
What's up? What's up? It's Uncle Buck.
Uncle Buck, wait a minute, man. This is Vashti. This is one of we only have two Hall of Fame callers, and this is one of them. The other person is his wife. Uncle Buck and Aunt Bev are all the way from Fairfield, Texas, and they've got a girls' high school basketball team that is competing in the state finals or state playoffs from the 3A level. And, ain't nobody covering 3A basketball but us. Uncle Buck, what did the girls, Fairfield Eagles, Lady Eagles, what did they do this weekend?
Well, they came down to H-Town, went over to the stadium, and they played somebody, Bishop, nobody's never heard of. They was like 28-1 or something like that. We were like 26-2. And we came down and we let Bishop know what the Fairfield Lady Eagles were all about. I think we beat them like 78-41. I mean, something like that. We just, we love to repeat. We'll see y'all Wednesday at the state finals. We're going to play somebody called Brownsville. Never heard of, but we're going to do what we do, and that's win.
Okay, Uncle Buck, as I've told you before, and Vashti, you can jump in if you want. Don't lose to a team that you don't know nothing about now, because you're going to remember them if you lose to them and you didn't know nothing about them. But the way y'all been rolling through people, I know y'all didn't beat them girls like that. 75-40 what?
78-41, yes, we did.
So they've got three daughters of a former NFL player, Tony Brackens, who played in the NFL, and three of his daughters play for the Fairfield Lady Eagles. And they some bad ladies now. They can ball. So Uncle Buck, y'all gonna beat Brownsville on Wednesday?
Yes, sir. We're gonna beat them on Wednesday.
All right. What time is that game so I can try to show up?
That's a 2:00 game at the Alamo Dome.
Okay, Uncle Buck. Now that would be a 3-hour drive for me, so I'm probably not gonna make that one. So can you handle that one without me being there?
Well, we got it covered.
Okay, Uncle.
I'm gonna correct you on one thing. Tony only have one daughter. She was the MVP of the state tournament last year. That's when she was a freshman. This year she's a sophomore, and he have two nieces. That's the other two brackets.
You're right, and I stand corrected because I'm new to the Fairfield Lady Eagles fanfare. I'm trying to be the voice of the Fairfield Lady Eagles, but I haven't seen a contract in my email yet. Do I just need to send a napkin over that y'all can just sign so I can get that gig?
Well, we just gonna send you a napkin. Just fill out your contract. We'll send you a napkin along with a state champions T-shirt.
Now, Vashti, he's normally a Cowboys fan, but he ain't said nothing about them Cowboys right now because he's talking about the Fairfield Lady Eagles. But if they wasn't playing, he would be talking them Cowboys up as if they didn't go 6-10 or something crazy. So
you know what? One thing Cowboys fans do is they're gonna believe that every season is the season, and I don't think it's been the season since 95.
That's all right. How many Super Bowls I'm the Houston Texans guy.
She from Carolina, Uncle Buck. They've been to a Super Bowl now since the Cowboys had. Now you leave them alone. They were 15-1 a little while ago. Leave them alone, Uncle Buck.
Oh, okay. I know, Fred.
Go on and sign off, Uncle Buck. Go on and stay in the Hall of Fame now.
All right. Uncle Buck, I'm out of here.
All right, y'all. You know him, Hall of Fame caller, Uncle Buck from Fairfield, Texas. That's up near Dallas, Vashti. And like I said, the Fairfield Lady Eagles won the 4A championship last year. And this year they had to move down to 3A, and it looks like they're about to win that too. So we like to give them some love because I don't think we have people that call from Fairfield, Texas and surrounding areas often. So we put them in the Caller Hall of Fame.
Absolutely.
And he is a diehard Cowboy fan. You saw how he tried to snap back. You saw how he tried to snap, right?
I saw.
So, all right. So here's the question that I have for you in reference to the Carolina Panthers. Are they trying to get rid of Teddy Bridgewater?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why for?
Pardon?
Why for? Why come?
Why come? Why for?
I'm just trying to put all of them together. I mean, huh?
He was 0-8 on game-winning drives. I mean, that's why. The team from David Tepper to Matt Rule to Scott Fitterer, they have made it very clear that they are in the market for a quarterback, whether it's in the draft or whether they look up and get Deshaun Watson from the Houston Texans.
How y'all gonna take Deshaun? I mean, not that I want to stay here because I want him out of this. It help us. Look, let me write on my hand. Please help. Send help. It's bad.
Why do you want him to go?
Oh, girl, this franchise organization right here. I don't know what they're doing over there, but I don't want him over there while they're doing it. I really think they got some serious. They got a man. Can I talk? Can we talk like it's just you and I?
Yes.
They got a man who used to be the team chaplain, running the business of the whole franchise. Like he knows capology, like he knows how to be a general manager. I mean, pray for us. Don't be trying to mess us up. This man is crazy.
I forgot about that. Yeah, you're right.
This man helped trade away DeAndre Hopkins for, wait on it, David Johnson, a second-round pick, and I don't know what else they got in that deal, but we still haven't seen the fruit of that labor. And I get, I'm a pastor. He's some kind of preacher, too, and the videos I've seen, he scares me. So I want DeAndre out of there. I want him gone. But to Carolina?
Why not? Supposedly, according to reports, Carolina one of the teams he would agree to go to. It's just how much Carolina would be willing to give up to get him.
Well, I mean, talk to me about that. What would the Carolina Panthers remotely throw this way in return for one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL?
I think it would take 4 first-round picks, maybe. I've heard they would want one of their defensive stars. I can't see the Panthers parting ways with Brian Burns. He's kind of like the guy that they're building that defense around at this point. I think that they would part ways with Christian McCaffrey. I would, without any question. So, yeah, I mean, it would take several first rounders. Maybe it would take another team to possibly get in on it. So, and then, of course, this year's first round pick, which is a number 8 pick. So, yeah, and maybe even Teddy Bridgewater. Maybe they throw in Teddy Bridgewater with it. And, I think that the Panthers are open for business. You saw that they what they were willing to give up for Matt Stafford, which was shocking to me.
Yeah, me too.
So the Panthers are open for business. Scott Fitterer, who we've only talked to once, but he made it very clear that if somebody is available, they're on the phone, at least entertaining offers, seeing what could go down. So he's a guy who has no problem with getting things done. David Tepper is an owner with a hedge fund background, so he has no problem with taking risk. And Matt Rule is a coach who is trying to prove himself on the professional level. So you have guys who are willing to do what it takes to win. And I feel like the writing is on the wall as far as Teddy Bridgewater. I don't think that David Tepper specifically is very pleased with him and his play, and it comes from the top and it trickles down. So, the Panthers are open for business when it comes to a quarterback, and Teddy Bridgewater knows it.
Yeah. And I hate that because Teddy's a great guy. I was hoping that he would have stayed in New Orleans and been the heir apparent to Drew, because to me, was a better fit than what they've got right now. But, I was glad that he got his opportunity in Carolina. I just hate that it turned out the way that it turned out. Was it all Teddy, or were there some extenuating circumstances?
Some would say that Christian McCaffrey getting hurt was not a good thing, but I think that Teddy had an opportunity. Even if he started off rough, he had an opportunity to improve as the season progressed, and he actually did not improve. His play seemed to decline, and that's on Teddy. And so, Carolina's offensive line could have been better, yes. Carolina had a young defense, which was already known, but Teddy Bridgewater had weapons around him. Teddy Bridgewater made questionable plays toward the end of the season. He was calling audibles that did not work out. And so he went rogue on a couple of plays, and, the coach was like, nah, like he told us as media, this is not what he's supposed to do. We don't do this as a general philosophy of our team. So when you do stuff like that,
right,
when it doesn't work out, like it just doesn't look. It's not a good look. And couple on that, add on to that, a fan base that was already upset about the departure of Cam Newton. It just was really not a good situation for him. He probably should have stayed in New Orleans, but it's hard to turn down $63 million.
Sure. Yeah, no, I can't spend his money for him. I certainly can't turn it down for him. So
right.
I just hate that that it turned out. Give me your thoughts and opinions of Matt Rule, after what he accomplished this past season.
I had reservations about him. And I think we talked about this before. I don't trust coaches that go from college to pros. I think that the whole mentality is different when you coach young men with hoop dreams, essentially, and grown men with kids and with children themselves and bills, and how you approach those two and how you coach them up and how you motivate them is completely different. And for some reason, college coaches historically have not been able to transition well. But Matt Rule seems to be, I was impressed with what he did the first year. He seemed to be going through the transition fine. He's been decent with media. Nice with media. The players seem to like him. He's brought in a younger coaching staff, which I think is good for those guys to see. I think it's good to always have a staff that's more relatable to you as a player. So he exceeded my expectations year one, but I don't know how that. I need to see steady progression. I need to see how this team progresses, how he drafts. Outside of last year's draft was pretty good, but now there's a new GM. So how is he going to collaborate with the new GM? So there's still a lot of questions surrounding Matt Rule. But year one, he exceeded he didn't blow me away, right, but he definitely exceeded my expectations.
And I wanted to get that because there are a couple of coaches to me that got a lot of love. And then when I look at that record, because, at the end of the day, that record is what it, who's the coach? I guess it was Bill Parcells to say, you are what your record says you are. 5-11, 5-11. And then, your former coach got a ton of love because they won the NFC East. And I'm at the end of the day, bro, you 7-9. And I know that Washington played, I guess kind of well against Tampa Bay. I guess they played them better than anybody else. But you lost that game. And I get the, whole personal off-field stuff and everything like that. But 5-11, 7-9, let me throw one more in there because everybody seems to be real high on the Arizona Cardinals. 8-8. And they stumbled late when you were making a playoff push, and they didn't get there. So, that's two college coaches and a beloved coach that best of them was 8-8. What are your thoughts there? Am I being too hard on those three guys? Or what?
I don't think so. I don't think so at all. The NFC East was putrid last year, and Washington was the beneficiary of that. But by no means was that Ron Rivera's best coaching job that he did. I mean, I know, as you mentioned, he was going through other things with battling cancer, which I believe that he's in remission, has overcome, which is great. But still, from a coaching standpoint, that team did not blow me away. I don't understand all the hoopla around Arizona's coach. He wasn't even really that good in college.
He had a losing record in college.
Right. And for him to get opportunities, and let's be frank, over Black coaches who are probably more qualified than him, like I have a problem with that. Matt Rule with 5-11, but for Carolina specifically, they were in, as I said, eight games. They were actually, for a team that nobody really didn't have winning more than 2-3 games, for them to be in it, for Patrick Mahomes to have to lead a game-winning drive to beat them, they were in it in 8 of the games, and where Carolina had the ball and Teddy Bridgewater and the offense wasn't able to make a game-winning drive. So I think that's probably why I said he exceeded my expectations, because I didn't expect Carolina to be in a lot of those games.
I got you.
But yeah, you're right. You are what your record says you are. And matter of fact, Matt Rule says actually that. So he says right now he's a coach who's 5-11, and that's not good enough for him.
Yeah. And back to your 8 games, you win half of those. You're 9-7. So I'll give you that. What does he need to do this year to exceed your expectations? And because one thing I'll say about you all's owner, he don't play, and I can deal with that. I'm good with that.
He does not play. He's very clear about his expectations. And he's a straight, sharp shooter. Yeah. And so I think that Matt Rule has to have a winning season this year coming up. He has to have a winning season. And I don't think he thinks that he can have a winning season without a winning quarterback, which is why I think that position is so important to them, because this is a quarterback-led league. Right. And it's not built for you to win if you don't have somebody under center who can come out and perform and win game-winning drives. I remember I asked Coach Snow I'd asked him a question. He went into details about the money down. On offense and defense, it's third down, whether you can make a play on the money down and also in the fourth quarter, but the money down. Yeah. Coaches, you get paid off of what you can do when you're under pressure. Yeah. Whether it's third down and defense and you get off the field, or whether it's third down on offense and you continue to move the sticks. In the fourth quarter, if you come alive and it's what you do when the game is on the line. That's where you make your money, and that's what the Panthers are trying to find in the quarterback.
Let me get to a question that was texted in earlier. Emil, one of our long-term listeners, said, AJ asked Vashti who are the quarterback possibilities if they get rid of Teddy Bridgewater. We already talked about Deshaun. If they don't win the Deshaun Watson sweepstakes, one of the things that has come to light is that the Texans would take a $40 million cap hit if they were to trade Deshaun, I'll tell you right now, they ain't got that money. They don't have that money. They just don't. They don't have the money.
Yeah.
They have the high payroll. They had no cap space and no draft picks. So for them to take a $40 million hit this year is near impossible. If Deshaun holds out and they don't, they fine him up to $20 million, well, guess what? Now you're in a little bit better position, which means you don't do anything with him until next year. But so I don't know if Deshaun moving is going to be feasible.
Right.
What else are you guys kind of looking at?
I've seen speculation that the Panthers will try to trade up with Miami and possibly go after Justin Fields. I've heard,
who I love, by the way.
Yeah, and a lot of Panthers fans seem to really like him. I've also heard rumblings about Mac Jones, which I'm not a huge fan of. Just with him at that 8th pick, the Panthers would not have to trade. I mean, they could probably get him at number 8. So I've heard that. And I've also heard Trey Lance. So, I just have really heard them going quarterback, period, with this pick. If they aren't able to get Deshaun Watson, and it seems like that might not be, they may not be able to pull that off. But I expect them to go quarterback with this pick. I wouldn't be surprised if they traded up and moved up, to that 3rd pick so that they can really get a guy that they want.
Two guys to stay away from: Mac Jones and that kid out of BYU. That kid out of BYU is the closest thing to Mitch Trubisky there is.
I don't understand the Mac Jones hype, though. I really don't.
Give me a name of a Bama quarterback that has done well in the NFL.
There hasn't been any. And Tua is like the first. I talked about this on another show. Like their quarterbacks do not excel in the NFL, period. And it's been like literally decades since somebody. I mean, they had a string of quarterbacks way back in the day, but recently they just haven't had it. And I don't understand. We don't see it as much, but there's a lot of stuff that goes on in the background as far as talks, handshakes, stuff that, agents who are connected, who, you never know what happened, which is why I like stuff when Mitch Trubisky gets drafted over everybody else. To me, that tells me his agent is connected somehow. I don't know what his agent did or who he rubbed elbows with or who he helped out in the past, but sports is a seedy business. So you never know what's going on behind the scenes and who may be getting paid to say what or do what. And that's the only reason why I could understand, because out of nowhere, everybody's talking about Mac Jones. And it was like, where is this coming from? Oh, he's a great leader. All of these catchwords.
He better lead them to something to eat and something to drink and leave it alone. Listen, I got to take another quick break. When I come back, we're going to play a little game. Can we play a little game when I come back?
Okay.
All right, we'll be right back. Vashti Hurt, Carolina Blitz, 281-453-1000 if you want in. Text me, 832-403-5005. It's the Lunch Break Media Monday on the legendary KYOK.
1140 AM and 92.3 FM. The legendary KYOK.
Now, in-home or in-office do-it-yourself COVID-19 testing is available to you, and the results are 99% accurate. Save your time and be safe by avoiding the lines and crowds. You can test yourself and your family members at home. Test your employees at work, making sure your workplace is safe. Simply call Citation Bioscience at the number we're about to give you to order your COVID-19 testing kits. When they arrive, follow the simple instructions and send them back to us with our prepaid shipping. Results are ready next day in 95% of the cases. And remember, they are 99% and reimbursable by your insurance company. Save your time, stay safe, and avoid the crowds. Order your COVID-19 kits now by calling this number now. Pricing starts at $119 and discounts are available for larger orders. Call now. 800-247-8046. 800-247-8046. That's 800-247-8046.
Do you watch television? Of course you do. Then have you tried Dish TV from All American Dish yet? No? Well, now is a great time because we're giving everyone that calls today a 2-year locked-in price. Your rate will not change for 2 years. The clock is ticking. Call now, get Dish, and get your price locked in for 2 years and save yourself some money. Dish has your favorite TV programs, even Netflix and Amazon Prime built into the DVR. You can even watch Dish anywhere you have an internet connection. Plus, we've even got awesome discounts for the military and seniors. Oh, and one more thing. Call All American Dish now and we'll even give you a free Google TV voice remote, free installation, and free equipment. Don't wait. Call All American Dish now.
800-296-1302. 800-296-1302. 800-296-1302. That's 800-296-1302.
Beautiful people, this is Major. This is why I love you on the lunch break.
All right, y'all, back here on the lunch break on the legendary KYOK and the all-new 92.3 FM, streaming live 24/7 on KYOKradio.org. I got my friend from the east side of these things, Miss Vashti, her Carolina Blitz, joining me on the show. And I got a very good question from OD. OD went to North Carolina, Charlotte. And OD says, glad to hear Vashti on the show. Question, who do you think will win a championship first? The Tar Heels, the Hornets, or the Panthers?
Okay.
Did you hear me?
Yes, I can. I think my Wi-Fi is going in and out.
That's okay. OD went to North Carolina, Charlotte. And he wanted to know, he said, loved hearing you on the show. He wanted to know, who do you think will win a championship first? The Tar Heels, the Hornets, or the Panthers?
Oh, that's a good one.
That's what I told. I thought that was a good question.
That's a good one. I'd have to go with the Tar Heels.
Okay. Really?
Yeah.
Given they're kind of sort of in a rebuild mode.
Well, sort of, but I think that the Tar Heels will benefit from a lot of their guys staying this year. They don't really have any one or dones. So I think that most of the guys outside of the seniors, I think they stay. And I think the Hornets have a bit more to do. I think that the Hornets and the Panthers have farther to go than the Tar Heels.
I got you. If you threw Duke in there, Duke, North Carolina, or the other pro teams, who wins first?
It would really be between Duke and UNC. I would probably go Duke only because they have a decent recruiting class coming in next year. Better right now than UNC. And I think a lot of their guys stay as well. Yeah. So, and I think that Coach K is nearing the end of his career. And after this season, those boys are going to be a tear next year.
Yeah, you know what? I feel like Coach K is motivated like never before after the taste of this season in his mouth. How much longer do you think we got Coach K in NCAA?
That's a good question because I was looking at those ACC coaches, and a lot of them are older. You have Roy Williams in his 70s, Leonard Hamilton, who just signed a 5-year deal, but he's 74. Jim Boeheim is 76. Coach K is 70.
Jim Boeheim can go like right now. I'll be all right.
He'll stay at least while his son is there. And then you have Coach K, who's 74. His grandson plays on the team, so maybe he'll stay while his grandson is there. Maybe you got at least 2-3 more years of Coach K. But I'm pretty sure that whatever he does, he'll want to leave that program in good shape. So, yeah.
Okay. Vashti, I heard Carolina Blitz joining us. Before we go, I want to play a little game with you. I'm going to give you a name. You give me the first team that comes to mind when I say this name.
Okay.
Ready? All right. Deshaun Watson.
Houston Texans. It should be Clemson, but it's Houston. because all of this trade stuff.
Gotcha. Teddy Bridgewater.
Carolina Panthers.
Okay. I hope you're right. Cam Newton.
Carolina Panthers.
Really?
Not that he's gonna. That's just the team I associate him with.
And I got you.
It's the team. I would not be surprised if he and Rivera hooked up again in Washington.
Okay. Alex Smith.
Kansas City.
Yeah. And what's crazy, even more so than San Francisco.
Yeah, that is crazy. I don't know why I didn't think. I just automatically thought Kansas City. Yeah.
Okay. Jameis Winston.
Florida State.
Now, you know what? I didn't expect. I was waiting on Tampa Bay.
No, Florida State. Eating the W. No, was that where he was eating the W's? Like the crab leg stuff, like Florida State, like all of that. Jameis at Florida State was, yeah.
I hope Jameis gets a starting job in New Orleans. I really do.
No, he's not. They've already made it clear that Taysom is their guy. You know that. And I don't understand that either. It's disrespectful. But yeah.
Oh, I'm not gonna be all right. Okay, I got another one for you. Dwayne Haskins.
Washington. And I don't even think Ohio State. I just think Washington. I think with him, I associate Washington because of everything that happened this year, like all of the crazy stuff that he had that went on this season, and then him getting released in the middle of the season. It was just, the drama. So,
yeah. Well, I'm gonna let y'all. Those were good. A couple of surprises in there. You definitely got me with Jameis Winston and Florida State. I mean, those were definitely his glory days. So I hope he can relive those again in this stage of his career. And I hope that he gets a chance to beat your boy out in New Orleans.
I don't think so.
Speaking of quarter, there's a lot of names that people are talking about, especially with Russell Wilson and all of that. Where do you think a guy like Jacoby Brissett will end up when all these quarterback musical chairs are done being played?
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't even know if he'll end up being a starter somewhere. Not that he lacks the talent, but I don't know. I think that he'll probably go somewhere a team that maybe needs a formidable backup. They may have a young, shaky quarterback, maybe in Miami, where there's questions about Tua. You got up and down. Maybe you need somebody that more solid guy behind him. Just in
that's
case.
the place where I'd like to see Deshaun go. Because, man, I'm a big fan of Brian Flores, and I feel like that organization is heading in the right direction with the right kind of mindset. And I don't think Tua would be a bad, new start for the Houston Texans as well.
Flores, I'm not even gonna lie. I'm still mad at that stunt he pulled with the Jay-Z thing, where one of the players, you know what I'm talking about.
I do.
Hey, that bothered me. That rubbed me the wrong way.
Can you give him a second chance? Can you forgive him?
I just thought that whole passive aggressive weak. I was just like, come on, bro. Like, no, not you.
Yeah.
I'll try to give him a second chance, but I mean.
So we'll call it a bad day for him. It was a bad day. It was a bad look. It definitely was a bad situation. But
okay,
he really is a good dude.
Okay, all right. If you say he's a good dude, I can take your word for it.
Let me go back to Jacoby Brissett. You painted an interesting picture. He goes to a team where they have a shaky quarterback. Best place for him then is right there in Indianapolis because they got the shakiest of shaky quarterbacks. And I just feel like that young man is going to stumble again. And I'm talking about Carson Wentz. He ain't it. He just is not it. Mentally, I guess he's got the skill set. He was playing well, before he got hurt initially. But mentally, if they're telling me that he fell apart because Philadelphia drafted Jalen Hurts, then you don't have the mental fortitude to be a starting quarterback in the NFL.
That's a very good point. I think that there's so many layers to stuff like that. And, but yeah, if you feel like you should just be given a position just because of maybe you have a sense of entitlement, then yeah, you don't have the mental fortitude to really be in this league. Maybe you're used to having things given to you. And then when you have to actually work for it, really work for it or prove yourself, then you kind of show that you're not there, you're not ready. And so maybe that's what happened with him in that. But I did not like the way he handled that. I didn't like the way he handled that situation either. So we'll see. We'll see. Indianapolis has been one of those teams who I feel like they've been struggling to really find an identity. Because, well, really since Peyton Manning left, they drafted Andrew Luck, but Andrew Luck had his injury problems, and then he retires out of the blue. And so now they seem like a team that's kind of like there. You know what I mean?
Right, I do.
And I think that they're trying to find themselves, and I don't think that Carson Wentz is how you find. It was where they're not gonna find themselves in him.
Yeah, they're trying to renew that magic that Frank Reich had with Carson Wentz before he got hurt, in his rookie year. And you just never know. You just never know. We got to get ready to go, but I would be remiss if I didn't ask Vashti Hurt, during Women's History Month, who are some of your influences? Who are some of the people that you look up to or that have motivated you to do what you do, literally owning your own media company? Tell us about Vashti's motivations.
Well, AJ, you know the answer to this question. I've been blessed to not have to go very far to look for motivation because I have a beast in my mother who is a trailblazer in her own right and who actually was a journalist also. So that's who I look to for guidance, for as a role model, as someone I aspire to be like. I don't really, I have people who I think are doing great things and who help motivate me. But when it comes to like inspiration, like she is basically it.
And you're right. I knew that. And that's why I wanted you to say it. Let me tell you something. Your mom is amazing. And if you're a product of her inspiration, she's done an amazing job. So
well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Tell everybody where they can find you and follow all the amazing work that you do.
Well, everything, just search Carolina Blitz. So on YouTube, on Twitter, on Instagram, Facebook, and then, of course, CarolinaBlitz.com. So I'm looking forward to covering the ACC tournament starting tomorrow. So make sure you're checking it and keeping it locked for that coverage as well.
I appreciate you as always. You let me know what you got going on so we can definitely support. But thank you for always being gracious to us over here at the lunch break. I really appreciate you, my friend.
Thank you, AJ. Glad I could have the camera on this time.
All right. So the next thing is when everything opens up, you're in studio next time around.
Exactly. I'm in studio.
All right. I'll be looking forward to it. Take care, Vashti. We'll talk to you next time. All right, y'all, we got to get ready to go. Donnie McClurkin up next with the Donnie McClurkin Show. As always, let's not be divided. Let's be united. I love you, and there is nothing you can do about it. Keep your mask on. Talk to you later.
1140 AM, KYOK Conroe, and 92.3 FM, K222CX Houston. Are you ready?
All right, man, I sure hope y'all enjoyed the show today. I had a great time with my guests. They are phenomenal. Valencia King, mwah, thank you so much. Vashti Hurt, mwah, thank you so much. I appreciate y'all both. Both of y'all are beasts in the business. And notice I didn't say for women because y'all are beasts, period. And I love what y'all do. So as always, let's not do this. Let's do this. Y'all be safe out there. We'll talk to you tomorrow. God say the same.